Good morning, folks. It's Johnny with Carolina RV. Today, I'm lucky enough to have Ryan from Newmar. He's our factory rep here to discuss the Ventana 4369.
You guys, some of the brief points on the outside of the core, what I would talk about top selling of why Newmar. So one of the easiest things when selling the Newmar coach is our tagline, when you know the difference. So, as you're engaging with these customers, and a lot of people keep hearing the Newmar quality. What is the Newmar quality? How does Newmar have that reputation out there? And that's why I always like to say, hey, do you guys mind if I take about 10 minutes and tell you about the difference items that separates Newmars from the other out there? The first thing that I talk about is the Newmar employee. The average employee at Newmar is 8 years. Most of our workforce is Amish. We're south of all the other Elkhart County, where we don't compete off of that same labor pool versus the others out there. Most of our group leaders are 20, 30 years on the job. So I like to talk to people, hey, if you're building a house, does it matter what the average tenure of that group that's in charge of building your house is? I guarantee they're going to say, yes, we want somebody that's experienced building houses. We don't want to pay, all this money to have somebody that's just started doing it. Well, in Elkhart County, at some of these manufacturers, what do you guys think some of the average tenure is of the employees? Any guess?
60 days.
2 years, a year? On average, you have under 30 days. Some of these manufacturers that are building motorhomes and produce them out there. So how can you have quality if we're constantly having new people come in and rotate out there? That's how we get a lot of the Newmar quality, and that's what allows us to do a lot of our stuff in-house. My STAR foundation on the diesel is strong, true, and robust, is what STAR stands for. It's done by Newmar employees. We know our tolerances, we know our expectations, and our employees, they care about that. They take good pride in the quality of craftsmanship that they do. They're not trying to get out and be done, once we put the screw in and everything, I'm done, I'm out for the day. They're going to stay later and make sure the job's done right. A hidden value thing that's done up front, a lot of people use Diamond Shield. Newmar uses Diamond Shield, but there's a difference between a good Diamond Shield install and a poor Diamond Shield install. So we actually have 2 people from Diamond Shield that work out of Newmar, that they're the ones installing all the Diamond Shields for us at the end, making sure we don't get those bubbles or anything that are going to show up later on the Diamond Shield. The Newmar Paints. This is our masterpiece paint. We do paint in-house. Again, because we have the workforce that can do this good of a quality on there. And for us, it's a lot easier to fix any imperfections along that paint process. Whereas when that motorhome comes back, afterwards and that paint started to cure, it's a lot harder to match and blend stuff together. We do offer paint specials. So we have over 100 different paint colors that your customers can choose from. Now it has to stay the Ventana paint scheme, but they could pick the skin color and have this black, they could choose yellow, or whatever they want, your company colors, sports colors, and be able to have their own unique option off there.
But that paint don't fully cure all the way, right?
It does not fully cure all the way, yes, because you won't have those spider cracks as that paint ages. We use BASF paint. It's used in the exotics and the auto industry out there. BASF is actually, again, we hired a couple workers from there. They're the ones that are mixing the paint codes and mixing the paints for us as we apply that. Our canvas that we paint on. So our construction is going to be different at Newmar from pretty much everybody else out there in the industry. We do a hung wall construction, more of a residential style. What's everybody else do in the industry? Vacuum bond out there, where they have about 6 sidewalls they can have in the machine, and they're just pumping them out. We know approximately how many units we're going to build at Newmar a year, and we're good with that. We're going to make sure we have the right quality in that. We're not so focused on how many we can put out the door as making sure we hit the customers' expectations and dealership expectations on there. So one hidden value thing is our fiberglass and the canvas that we paint on is going to be the thickest fiberglass out there in the industry. So we have a nice smooth, it's not a rolled fiberglass. We're going to look down the side and see the waves on there. If I were to remove this outside layer of wall, what would you see on a Newmar motorhome?
Steps?
studs. Every 16 inches you're going to have studs at minimum. Where our slide outs are and different points that need extra support, we might put 3 studs together in that section. If you pull apart some of the others, you're not going to see every 16 inches on center. You might see every 3 to 5 feet of support on there. If you do see every 16 inches on center, another difference on a Newmar that we take it a step farther is we do C-channel studs. The reason we do C-channel is we use batt insulation. So we can actually stuff all that insulation inside all those studs. Where the people that use tubular, well, every 16 inches on a 43-foot coach, there's no insulation in that sidewall.
We put circles on the side too.
We put circles on the side so we can run just like at home, we can run the wiring all through your sidewalls. We're one of the last companies that offer specials throughout coaches per customer's request. So they want extra outlets in the kitchen. They want one back in the bathroom, in the vanity somewhere for the hair dryer. We can do that because it's easy for us to run that wire. We don't put this outside wall up until the cabinets, everything has been hung. What's nice about that is as our guys are anchored in the cabinets, guess what they see? The steel pads. So they know exactly where those cabinets need to be hung, that they're anchored into the steel rather than just the wall board on the side. The key code to get inside all the Newmar doors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1 will unlock this front door for you to be able to get in or out of that motorhome. Slide outs. Newmar was the first company to invent a slide out in a motorhome. Back in the late 80s is when we started putting this out there, and other manufacturers thought we were kind of crazy that it would just be a 1 to 2 year thing. But now look at every motorhome out there. You know, they all have big full wall slide outs now, so we continue to lead the way in innovations on slides, where on the Ventana and these slide outs, we still use that same system. We use it as a cog wheel. It's basically a big farm gear. 1 full rotation is 1 foot of a slide out box. So you're looking at 3 rotations out, 3 rotations in. It's a very simple, tried and proven system out there, where you're looking at some of these other slide systems in the industry today.
No mechanical issues.
And there's been tons of headaches out there. So it's just a nice peace of mind that you know when you take a Newmar slide out, you're not crossing your fingers hoping it doesn't get stuck coming in or out of it. How we're putting that support on the sides of the wall, bringing that support back onto the chassis rails, the shoulders of the coach rather than the sides of the coach to get that sway and sway. Underneath the automotive carpet, it's all lined with block foam insulation. So on the sidewalls, floors, and roofs, we have block foam like all the other manufacturers, and we also have batt insulation. We'll have the highest R values out there in a motorhome. A Newmar coach, a great word track. We're going to be quieter, cooler, or warmer than the competition out there. And that right there is important to a lot of customers, as you can see Class C's nowadays doing dual ACs, trying to keep the customers cool during hot weather. So we even insulate the basement storage of the coach throughout the elements on there. Okay. When does Newmar start to do a tag?
40 feet.
40 feet. The competition?
43.
43, 42 out there. So if your customers want a tag axle, they want to be 40 foot or under, it's a Newmar motorhome. What's the advantage of having the tag? Why do people buy the tag?
Maneuverability.
Maneuverability. So on a, what about the maneuverability though?
13 degrees.
Out of which one?
Out of your Audi down there to back.
Okay, does everybody do that?
No, it's 10 degrees for the Freightliner, right?
So that's a hidden, well, it's a hidden value thing. So each manufacturer, even though it's built on a Freightliner 40-footer, 400 horse, we order that chassis different. So we tell that manufacturer what we want out of there. Newmar is going to order this with a passive steer tag. Every tag that we have has that additional turning radius, up to 12 degrees on there. If you look at the other competitions, they don't put that on there. So that's hidden value stuff that we need to talk about, that the luxury drive experience that we put on a Newmar coach that the others aren't spending the money on. The easiest way to tell, you nailed it. If it's an Audi, that means it has turning capabilities. If it goes in just like the front tag or the front axle, then that means it does not have that additional 12-degree turning capability on there. So when you come inside this coach, you have to come through here, hit the kitchen seating, hit the living on a different panel, go back here in the bedroom. On the new ones, you're going to have a 10-inch screen up here. You turn all kitchen lights on, all bedroom lights on. You don't have to go through and click multiple different.
10-inch screen.
The 10-inch multiplex.
Multiplex.
Yes, screen on there. So that's going to be a very user-friendly feature to offer on the new models on there. So does anybody know right away what's a special inside this coach that's been unique? That's been ordered as far as an upgrade? Yes, this flooring here is from the King Air. So that's our $1.2 million coach out there that Jason specialed in to have that flooring put into a Ventana. So as far as customers are shopping, another $43.69 out there, and this is not going to be a common thing that they're going to see. They're going to have more of a square ceramic tile look flooring rather than the nice wood plank flooring out there. So definitely point that out to customers. Usually you can look at the MSRP, and that's going to tell you right down here what specials have been added to that. So you would see paint would be another one that would be common. Sublite backslashes are common to take Essex or something else and put down into some of the other models. If you guys ever get a customer that wants to sit down and really customize, and they maybe had a Newmar before and they really want to pick their own unique coach out there, they can fly up into Napanee, Indiana. Natalie's also our coordinator for this area, and she also is the one that will meet with the customers in the design room, and they'll be able to take backsplashes and flooring, and they'll see all the paint colors and be able to start picking and choosing and creating their own unique coach out there. So that is an option to have if you do have the customers that rather than sitting down in there and going off to core books, they can actually come to the factory and see the big sample pieces and everything put together into a coach. Now that's also a good option that maybe don't have the Dutch Star 4369 in stock or that floor plan in stock. We can bring that floor plan right outside the design room. They can go through it and bring samples and stuff into that coach and be able to put that together. The other thing that we offer that's unique out in the industry, and I don't think you guys, I don't know if you did one this last year, it's a CPU. It's a customer pickup option. So Newmar will actually do the delivery to your customer. It's about a $4,000 to $5,000 option to have done, but it's a 2 to 3 day basically process of where they will go through the test drive, they will will walk the customer around and show and feature and benefit how everything operates inside the coach. They'll stay at the Newmar campground, and if they have any questions the next day, the tech they'll go through all that again. I know if it's a Freightliner chassis, Megan from Freightliner is the one that takes the customers out on the test drive and covers the whole chassis with them. So I've not heard one negative thing. If I was buying a coach, I would probably go through that process because there's a lot of different parts and components that go around, and it would just be booked. Usually it adds about 30 to 60 days from when that unit comes offline for us to get it ready as we're buffered.
Sooner
or later. So because Newmar is going to do the whole prep and the make ready and everything on that, making sure everything works and operates into that coach. So inside, a couple things I would talk about. We'll start up front here. So you'll see 2 overhead fan buttons. This is one thing I always like to go through. So one overhead's for your front dash. This other one with the front fan high, low, and off. On a 43-foot Ventana, we have the hydronic heating system, the Oasis system. So that would be one of your heat exchangers is right down here, and that high, low, and off would turn amount of heat of air that's blowing out for there. So this was a mistake of having two front dashes, one for each. Any 43-foot Ventana has that Oasis system standard on it. You'll have your camera system and your radio screen. The 360
last night about 10:30. I didn't wake up till 7 this morning. Have we met?
Okay, to operate the 360 camera button, okay? So you see a 360 camera select. That does nothing until you go to the camera button here, and then that would rotate through the different screens on there, so just to show the customer.
It is nice, isn't it? What an option.
This guy up here is going to be your Wi-Fi Ranger.
Yes, sir.
So this will be the, more likely you guys ordered the Denali. So this will be up to a 2-mile range, the enhanced public Wi-Fi's. And then this would have the data plan option of being able to have, it's through like Freedom Go now where they can do, it's AT&T's data basically, but by going to this Freedom, they can choose weekly or monthly plans out there rather than being locked in to a 2-year deal. Verizon is not compatible. So if you guys are working with somebody with Verizon, that SIM card cannot go up top. It's not compatible with the Wi-Fi range. Trifold sleeping option. So if I go theater seats or recliners, this would make out into the trifold. If I did the trifold sofa over here, that becomes jackknife out there. The Televator is a one-touch pop-up that would, you just have to touch it once and that will lower or raise from there. If you hit it multiple times, that's how you go into a programming mode. So that might need to be reset. If you're ever going through a delivery and the Televator is not working or the awning on the outside is not going out, it might be being on the kitchen side, the GFCI or whatever that outlet, the circuit might have blown. So start checking all the outlets and seeing if anything popped, a breaker popped on there. There's one in the bathroom as well, and then more than likely that will start going up or down again down there. To take this out, there's a button right here for the extra countertop space. And I always like to take out the Newmar drawers just to show that they go full extension rather than 3/4. You can see the screws on here, they're not stapled or glued on the side on there.
Solid wood.
The induction cooktop, when you go all electric, remove. So it's just a 110 plug. You can take it outside if they want to cook fish or anything outside of the campsite. Everything on this price point too, guys, is all soft close drawers. You don't see that from the other competitors till you get really above the Dutch Star price point out there. So just the upgrade of cabinets. All the Amish craftsmanship I talk about. One thing to point out on Ventana, you know, especially the women, as they walk in here, they might look at this and, you know, that's really hard to clean. This is all on magnets, so they can spray that, wipe that. The slide feature, that part pops off, that they can spray and easily clean on there. So we're thinking about how customers might be using the coach as well. Our Total Comfort Air, 1986, is the one who came out with this. Your returns are next to the AC vents on there. Plus or minus 2 degrees on a Newmar motorhome is how efficient this AC system is from front to back on that coach. If you want to clean it, the side pulls down. You can clean the little filters and put it back up there on all these. The other nice benefit is they're all hidden. And it looks nice when you walk into the coach. And when your slide outs are in, the AC is blowing it still into the middle of the coach rather than over the top of the slide outs.
How is that side pulled out?
So that would drop down, then you can clean it in the filters through there. So it'll either be in these little plastic groove things, or it'd be magnets. The combo desk dinette is our most popular option out there. So it gives you the buffet storage. This one's got a outlet down here that can put a printer in, run the cable up if you needed to, just extra storage into the kitchen. And then during transport it would go in. And then you'd have 2 more folding chairs that underneath the bed to seat 4 at this table. I always point out the mid-bathroom door. So this is called our space saver door. So the reason we do this door engineering design this, when the slide outs are in going down the road, it's hard for the bigger person to get into the bathroom. They have to kind of slide in. Well, this you can walk in straight on there. Reminds me of an airplane door. You know, they're tight space as well back there, that they have the same type of door used out there. So I always point that out to customers. You'll have the upgraded sleep number. There's 2 ways to tell if you have the upgraded sleep number or the normal mattress. One is simply off the Msrps off of here. The other one, you'll see a pump underneath there for that sleep number bed that blow up or blow down. Okay, does everybody know how to read one of a Newmar Msrps? Because they can be confusing. So this front page is everything that is standard on there. So you might see a RV fridge on the front. The back is what was optioned in, so that would tell you that this would trump anything that was on the front. So it almost kind of tricks you a little bit as you're walking through, looking through this here, and you see a Norcold 10 cubic refrigerator. Well, obviously we have a residential Whirlpool, and that came in when we spec the all electric option on there. So always look at the back option features if you're looking at really how that motorhome spec'd out for options.
And below that is specials.